Welcome to the Women Lighthouse podcast, your friendly guide through all the ups and downs of life. We're here to remind you that every woman has the strength to take charge of her journey and make her dreams come true. Each week, we'll share heartwarming stories and helpful tips from amazing women who have faced their own challenges and come out stronger. Tune in, get inspired, and let's start this exciting journey towards achieving your dreams together. The Women Lighthouse, your guide to a brighter tomorrow.
Hello, ladies. You're welcome to the Women Lighthouse podcast. It's great to have you on the show today. Today, we are going to be exploring the topic on understanding stuttering in children. And to join us in this interesting conversation is Miss Hyelhara Balami, and she's a certified child therapist and the director of Sunflower Child Therapy School in Abuja, Nigeria. She has over a decade of experience in empowering young minds, particularly children with special needs. And she's passionate about creating an environment that allows for partnering closely with families, caregivers, and educators in order to develop personalized interventions that will foster meaningful growth and confidence in children. And with her countless wealth of experience, she'll be joining us in this interesting conversation. You're welcome, Miss Hyelhara Balami, to the Women Lighthouse podcast.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I'm glad to be here with you too.
So basically, this is an interesting conversation. Before we go into the nitty-gritty, I want to give a little background with regards to our conversation on handling stuttering in kids. I remember I have two kids. One just recently turned 5, while the other is 2. And I remember when my first was about 2 years going to 3 years, I noticed all of a sudden that he was sort of stuttering. He just started suddenly, and I just noticed whenever he wants to express his words, the beginning sound, he would drag it. And initially, my initial response when I heard him doing that was to quickly stop him, like caution him, stop doing that. Like I was so anxious. So unconsciously, I began to like shout at him. I was like, will you stop doing that? And I noticed that when I consistently did that, whenever he wanted to talk, he lost confidence and he would want to talk and he would just keep quiet. So I had to do some research, and based on that, I discovered what was called developmental stuttering. And it actually made me scared. And I was wondering, if I could experience this, how much more other women out there who have children that are either just stuttering or have been stuttering for a period of time. So please, I want you to explain to our listeners what really is stuttering and basically how does it present in children.
Okay. Stuttering is a speech disorder characterized by repeated or prolonged sounds, syllables, or words, such as interruptions or blockage in speech. For example, now we have children that when they want to say some few things, they start with ball, cast and all. So that's what stuttering is about. It's a speech disorder, but most people do not know that it's a disorder. They feel it's a normal thing, but it's a disorder. In countries like Nigeria, they don't take this thing serious. But when you go to advanced countries, they take it serious.
Okay. So what really causes it?
So for now, there's no known cause for stuttering, right? There's no cause. We can't say this is this, but we have some common factors. It can be family history. It can be brain difference in language processing. It can be premature birth or low birth weight. It can be bilingual or multilingual household. It can be developmental disorders or delays.
So basically, from what you're saying, there is no outright cause for
No.
stuttering.
No.
It happens in kids.
Yeah.
Okay. What's like the common age group in which children could experience stuttering?
From 2 years to 5 years.
Okay.
Those are the common ages where children start developing these signs, and they show you those signs.
Wow. So a mother who notices a 2-year-old, like I shared my experience. Like I don't when I had that experience. Had a friend. Yes, I'm a doctor, but when it comes to dealing with your own child, especially with something you don't have experience in, you want to consult someone. So I consulted a pediatrician, and she just told me,
Yeah.
give it time, and I shouldn't like interrupt him. I should just be patient with him. And actually, I noticed that that was the period he had just started learning how to talk, and he was just becoming more expressive with his speech. So actually, after a while, the thing stopped. So for a mom who notices her child at 2 years beginning to stutter, how should that mother approach that scenario?
Okay, so how a mother can support her child that stutters now? I for speech disorder, stuttering and stammering, we have different techniques and we have different ways. All things are dealt based on individual difference. You understand? But I'm just going to give you a few, which is, as a parent, what you have to do is provide a relaxed and supportive communication environment. Your child has to be relaxed. Then you have to reduce the stress and anxiety on your child and also on yourself. Encourage slow and easy speech. As a parent, when your child talks too fast, encourage your child to take deep breaths, take it slowly, especially when you do not hear what the child is saying clearly, or if the child says it too fast.
Okay.
Avoid criticism and punishment.
Yeah.
Do not punish your child because it's stuttering or you're seeing signs of stuttering. Then also encourage them to do activities that promote language development. Now, I will give you just a little tip. Now, most children's songs with rhymes, they usually repeat words if we've noticed. Like, I'll use this common rhyme for jolly phonics. I know most schools do phonics. Like, enter my arms, enter my arms, Sometimes those things at those early age causes children to start stuttering. So it's just minutes. There's no need to prolong the fresh sounds. No. Say hands and my arms. You understand? So if we do uses it, whether you're looking out for videos to help with language development, look for videos that don't prolong the first or the first sound.
Wow. 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 So that means from what you're saying, maybe prolonged or uncensored exposure to screen time also could be contributory.
It could. Yes, it could.
Wow. Are there other things that like can stuttering really be prevented? Are there other things that could be avoided in order to prevent some children from stuttering, just like what you just mentioned?
Prevention, well, there's nothing to do to prevent it. The only way you can, work on it is actually early intervention. Currently, we don't have any known way to prevent stuttering. But however, early intervention can significantly impact the development and severity of stuttering.
So, based on your practice, since you're talking about early intervention, when it comes to at what point should a parent be concerned that maybe the stuttering has lingered for so long? Like for mine, I waited maybe for like a few weeks, then I noticed the thing stopped. Then after a while, it came back. then shortly after it stopped. But this occurrence was not like, it didn't span up to a period of maybe about 2 months or so. But at what point should a parent be concerned to now seek this early intervention you're talking about?
Okay, so most times, like I said, for us that deal with children that have neurological disorder or developmental challenges, it depends on the child. We have some children that by 2 they start their first words. We have early bloomers and late bloomers, right? So if you notice your child talks super fast, if when pronouncing words, the child just says it fast, and or you can just start by 2. Sometimes you can start by 3 when you notice. Let's say you notice on the first month, the child just turned 2. Let's say the child started talking by 1 or 1 plus, started saying his first few words. Now, by 2, you can start monitoring the child. First month, what do you see? Second month, what do you see? Then you can consult someone. But it all depends. Now, your consultation might be for do ask questions, not necessarily do therapy for the child. So that is it. So for most children, it varies and it differs. Some children you can discover it by age 2, some 3, some 4, some 5, some even in their teenage age. That's when you discover it.
Wow. So at what point would a child need therapy with regards to this?
Okay, when you see that the occurrence is frequent, like you said, for your example now, I'm using you. You said you noticed your child 1 week, 2 weeks. Now you ask about questions on how to help this child. What should I do? How should I reduce it? Now, one thing with us Nigerians is that we have issues with consulting people when we see worries. So you ought to consult. When you consult, your therapist or the psychologist is going to tell you, okay, let's leave this child for at least 1 week and monitor the child. Let's do this and see. So if we done some things like I said for the Jolly Phonics video that does the ass and answer my arms. If I tell you, okay, stop the answer my arms, if it's what you frequently pay for your child, by the time you stop it there, a week or 2, I come back and I ask you, okay, so what is the progress now? Does he still repeat his first word or his first sound? From there, if he still does the repetition, we can do another step of trying something out. Whenever you're talking to the child and you say, ant, they know it's ant. Understand? Now, you as a parent should start correcting. When we do that correcting process and it still doesn't work out, that's when we'll suggest that you enroll your child with a speech and a language therapist or a pathologist.
Okay. So now, based on this, will you say that there is a cure for stuttering by the time a child, maybe for the severe forms, the child goes through therapy? Is there a time you would now say it was cured? Because I've seen where people will say they were healed of stuttering, that maybe people that it progressed into adulthood and all that. So now the question is even twofold. For those who their stuttering progressed into adulthood, could it be as a result of not seeking early intervention, like you said, or the fact that maybe they went through therapy and there was no improvement? And also for those that go through therapy, is there a time you say they will be cured and completely treated from stuttering, or is this something that has to be managed all through the periods of their life?
Okay, so basically now we don't use cure as a word because with cure stuttering we can only manage it. Do you understand? So now when you start therapy, you manage it. Like teach the child how to talk slowly. You have to teach the child to learn when to take a breath. You have to teach the child diction. So basically, let me just make an example. Most parents in Nigeria, when they consult a speech therapist or a speech pathologist, they expect to see progress in 2 days. But sometimes it doesn't work like that because our job is based on the child, is based on individual differences, not on a standardized timetable or curriculum. So when we assess the person, look at how can we help this whole thing? How can we start the pace? Do we start with slow pace? Do we start with teaching the person the alphabets? Do we start with teaching the child the sounds? Now, if we're starting with teaching the child the alphabets or the sounds, the child will know it's going to take a while for the child to start saying those words. So we've not even started doing words. So it's step by step. There are some adults that we have to manage their stuttering down to adulthood, while there are some that it ends, stops during their time.
Okay. So while you were speaking, a lot of things came to mind based on what you said. So, like, I'll begin by asking what average duration it takes. I know it varies based on the type of stuttering, but someone who comes in for therapy on an average, is it possible to estimate an average period in which most likely the parents will begin to see results based on the therapy that the child is undergoing?
Okay, so most times I will give you a 3 months plan on my path. So the 3 months plan, we can have just maybe 3 words to practice and do other an intervention on how to house those words. Then from there, if we see the progress, fine. If you don't see the progress, you have to do it. That's just how it works.
Okay, then how frequently would the child require therapy? For instance, in a week, how frequent is engage in therapy?
Okay, so it depends on this condition of the child. If it's severe, I would say 5 times in a week or 6 times in a week.
Okay.
If it's not severe, I can suggest 3 times in a week.
Okay. When we look at affordability, how affordable is it? Because these are things that I think some information that parents would want to know, because sometimes some people don't seek certain interventions or help because they feel it's not something that is common, so it may not be cost effective, it may be expensive. So on an average, what's like the cost of therapy, for instance, on an average with regards to therapy for stuttering?
Okay, so I would say that we don't really have a standard price for it. Now, most times, what speech pathologists or therapists look out for is first is the distance, the hours. How long do you want the therapy to go for? How many days do you want the therapy to go for? Some persons charge per day. Some people might charge you 20,000, 30,000 per day, while some people can charge 50,000 or 100,000 per day. Meanwhile, we still have some persons that will charge you 100,000 to visit you 4 times in a month. While we still have some people that will tell you 100,000 is for 3 times in a week. So it all differs. And then, in as much as we have the professionals, we still have people that have passion for it, regardless of the money. If you talk to a parent and you see that the child needs that intervention, if you can do it, you do it. But if you cannot do it, you let go. But one thing I would tell parents is that when you're looking out for helping your children in cases like this, it's best to take out the cost implication out of it and think about the change that will occur. Because when your child's back is, it's going to be difficult for your child to be able to talk in public, and it damages the child's self-esteem, and most times they won't speaking up for activities and many things. So sometimes you just have to look for a therapist that will suit your budget and work with the person. But do not expect that you're going to get a therapist that you pay 5,000 naira in a day. Like for the SLPs associations in America, in the UK, they have the highs, you know. I think per hour is about maybe $20, $30. It depends. I don't know right now, but then it was about $20, $30. But Nigeria, we don't do that. Everybody comes in with his or her price. And it depends on how much therapy the child will require.
You mildly mentioned the impacts of stuttering for children, especially when in school. So I want you to throw more light into how stuttering affects children, basically their social skills and their self-esteem. What's really the impact of stuttering on these children, and what can we as women or mothers or parents or even teachers or family members or the society at large do to support these children to mitigate the effects of this impact?
How statutory really affects children's social skills and self-esteem? It reduces the participation in class activities or in social activities. Like, for example, now let's use schools. A lot of schools do activities whereby the children present maybe science experiments, um, end of year productions, and a lot of things. Now, most times when your child starts, look at the child for that role because the child will not clearly explain what has happened once because there will be intersection of stuttering. Maybe he wants to say, okay, this is a plant and this is how we planted it now. For a child by status, it's going to be difficult to say this is a plant and this is how we planted it, this is how we're growing it. It's going to take a longer time and a lot of people will lose their patience and, you know, also it increases anxiety and for the child. The child will always be anxious. The child will be stressed. Whenever they call up the child's name to do something, the child is always stressed out, because there's anxiety. He knows that whenever he's called out to speak, the stuttering interrupts and he won't be able to deliver properly. So anxiety and stress is there. Then we have affecting relationship with peers or family members or whoever. It reduces their ability to speak. Some of them will grow, especially the ones that are in their teenage age. They don't really talk, that much because they know that whenever they start talking, it's going to, affect maybe a lot of people be like, oh, this is how you talk, some expressions, how kids here. Then, okay, the ways we can also mitigate it, encourage open conversation and emotional expression. Most people that also don't like to be cut short. They want to say what they want to say. Allow them to finish it. The also emotional expression. Most of them like expressing things emotionally and all. Allow them to finish it. Let them do those things. Foster a positive self-image. As a parent, always tell your child, you are amazing, you're unique, you're beautiful, you're this, you're handsome. I have words of affirmation I use on my kids, which is an everyday thing. So it's either we're going to school, we're going anywhere, we say it every year. Whenever you feel down, even you are using. Whenever I'm feeling down, whenever I feel, tired or something, I just use those words of affirmation. And to me, those words are smooth things. And I use it as my backup plan. So give that child a positive self-image. Then role play social situations to build confidence again. Role playing. Like for parents, you can also help your child. When they get their child, oh, you're talking about being this. I want to be a soldier. You're going to present on being a soldier at school. Teach your child, try and practice those things with your child too at home. Encourage your child. There are sometimes that they will be stressed by some words. Encourage that child to still say those words regardless. Educate, then also educate peers and family members. If you have family members that don't understand about stuttering, that's for teenagers. And you have to educate them. You have to educate their peers. There are some people that startle that before they start talking, they will let you know, okay, please don't be angry. I startle on some words. I prolong my pronunciation. So whenever I'm reading, just be patient with me. People do that. That's how you teach people to, have a good self-image of themselves.
Mm.
Now, what's the advice I can give teachers is to remain calm and patient. You have to always remain calm and patient. Do not rush the child. I will always say this. Don't rush the child. Don't interrupt the child. Remain calm and patient. And also your facial expression is key. Even if you don't say it, the child sees it from your face that you're not following. Also, avoid finishing their sentences. When someone that startles is saying something, do not finish a sentence for him or her. Don't finish the sentence. Allow the person to finish the sentence. Do not interrupt the person while talking. Provide supportive listening and eye contact. Most people that startle, when they are talking, they actually like looking into your eyes. They want to see if you're following them or not. So try as much as possible to give a positive eye contact and also listen. Then you can encourage the child to take their time, speak at their own pace, do not rush. Just encourage the child to do those things. So that's it.
Oh, this really, really encouraging. And what about for parents? Is there any support available for parents of children who stutter? Because I think it's also important because they also have um a role to play in all of this. And I think sometimes it may be also overwhelming for them, especially when they see that, most times as parents, when we see our kids going through things, we don't want them to be uncomfortable. So when you don't have the power basically to solve a certain challenge that your child may be going through, you feel so powerless and discouraged. So what support is available, or what encouragement would you have for parents of children who are stuttering?
We have, as a parent of the child that startled, I said you should always remain calm and patient. So you, the parent, you, the teacher, you have to be very calm and patient. Then also, try as much as possible to teach them how to pronounce words at their own pace or sounds at their own pace. They shouldn't rush it. They shouldn't stress it. Always teach them how to say those words one at a time. They can break their words into syllables if they cannot pronounce it at a go. So you as the parent, try as much as possible not to talk to the child so fast. When you're talking to the child and you want the child to talk at a slower pace, you have to talk at a slower pace too. Like, for example, I want to say, Doctor, please, how are you? Or please, can you pack me the bottle of water? Now, normally, I'm going to say, Doctor, please, can you give me the bottle of water on the table? That's how I would say that. But because I know I have a child that startles now, I'll say, Doctor, please, can you pass me the water on the table? Now I've broken it into syllables and I've made it slower. So you can encourage your child to also do that. So as a parent, you have to provide a supportive listening and eye contact to your child. You can create a breathing technique for your child. If your child is saying a word too fast, you can say, let's breathe it in, out, maybe 3 times. Let's do it 3 times. In, out, in, out, in, out. They encourage the child. Pronounce the word. The child will pronounce the word. Now, as a parent, you still have to discover there are some people that start to, there are some letters that are quite difficult for them to pronounce. So if you discover those letters, you have to be patient in teaching them words that begins with those letters. So take your time, be patient, be calm, be slow, use the nicest tone you can use. Do not get angry in the process. Be calm at all times.
So with regards to the resources for parents, can you recommend some resources which parents or educators can use in order to learn more about ways to support children who stutter.
Yes, so we have some apps you can use, some therapy apps which you can download on your iOS or on Play Store. We have Easy Talk, we have Stuttering Helpers, we have UNC, SIS. Then also we have online resources and websites which would help people that tattoo. So, most times as a parent, if your child has this disorder, you would be the one to do a lot of research and try and help your child. So you can check out this websites and this online resources. You have the Stuttering Foundation. We have a National Stuttering Association. Yes, so yes, we have the National Puppetry Associate. Then we have the Stuttering Rockstar. Then there are communities also on Facebook, the Stuttering Support Groups, and there's the Stuttering. So those are resources that parents can use to help their children at home. So when you're helping a child at home you have to learn all about by yourself, and you have to try and firstly, before you start learning about the things, I'll encourage you get a speech pathologist for a consultation, so you know what kind of therapy your child needs. So you don't just keep, wasting your time doing these activities and it won't work out because that's not the type and chattering your child has. So you have to check out for the type first. You have to consult. You have to do diagnosis. So okay, this is not where the stage my child is at. And this is what I see he was, and this is how I use this resources.
Thank you so much. Before we go, I would want to find out, can you tell us a bit more about what you do at Sunflower Child Therapy School? Just tell us a bit about what you do, the services you provide. So in case we have parents or teachers or anyone who wants to reach out to you to for consultations, they will be well guided.
Okay, so we do consultation services for parents, schools, teachers on special educational needs. We do speech and language therapy. We do applied behavior analysis. We do play therapy. We do parent-child interaction therapy. We do gross motor therapy. We do occupational therapy. We do a lot of therapy. So even if I'm going to list them out, these are the basic ones we do. But we do a lot. Therapy list is so long. So you can just reach out to us to ask us or tell us the child's specific needs, and we'll tell you the right therapy approach to use.
So is there room for virtual consultations, or does it have to be in person?
Oh, there's room for virtual consultation if you want, but most times we advise there are some consultations that has to be physical, so we can see the child and know how we can engage the child. So most times my first consultation, if it's a virtual consultation, it's usually free.
Okay.
So it's a free consultation for 20 minutes or 10 minutes. Then if you want to discuss further, you would have to pay for that.
Okay, so how can we reach out to you if we need to contact you? Can you share your social media handles with us or an email address? How can we reach out, or you have a website, something?
Okay, so you can reach out to us via Instagram on Sunflower Therapies through Abuja. You can reach out to us on Sunflower Kids Not. It's on Instagram. So you can reach out to us on our email, sunflowerchildtherapyschool@gmail.com.
Okay, yeah, we'll drop all the details in the description so that our listeners can reach out to you if need be. I just want to say thank you for this insightful conversation. I've learned a whole lot. This is something that is actually common in our environment, but a lot of us don't know how to handle this. Imagine me who is learned and I've been practicing for like not I fell into the trap of overreacting and panicking when I noticed my son was stuttering. Not to talk about people who do not just have an idea, but with this insightful conversation, I believe that there are a lot of takeaways for we parents to learn on how to handle kids, not even necessarily just our own kids, any child basically with stuttering. I believe when we encounter such, we would have a better approach towards handling children with stuttering, because these children should have equal opportunities. They should be treated like every other children, because actually they are all special, and they need to be given that special care, that they need not to be looked down on. They need not to be mocked or ridiculed, but they need to be treated with extra love and extra patience. So thank you so much for joining us today on this episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. And we hope to have you again in the near future on our show to throw more light into some other issues that have to do with special needs. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Women Lighthouse podcast. We really hope today's episode has given you some great tools, resources, and a boost of confidence to take charge of your journey. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. You can also follow us on our social media handle for even more tips and a wonderful community that's all about supporting your growth. Join us next time for more uplifting stories and encouraging insights. Until we meet again, keep shining bright, stay inspired, and embrace your unique path to a better tomorrow.